Democrats' new rallying cry, income inequality. They blame successful earners and investors, but they got it all wrong. Again, it's family breakup and it's poor education that's blocking social mobility. You're going to hear it every day from the Democrats. They're constant yelling about income inequality and how it's allegedly killing our economy. Well, not so fast, my friends. We're going to debate the facts about what's holding back wealth in America and how to fix it. Next up on Kudlow. All right, the new big issue for the Obama Democrats is income inequality. They think they're going to win with it in the November elections. They are wrong. Their whole analysis is wrong, and more government taxing and spending is wrong. Instead, it's family breakup and poor education. That is the real problem. I hope the Republican Party gets that message out. Now, we'll talk, we'll debate. We have Democratic strategist and economist Mark Levine and CNBC contributor Jim Pethokoukis of the American Enterprise Institute. Jimmy P., nobody has done better work on the economic damage of family breakup than you. Why won't the Democrats acknowledge this instead of all this tax the rich stuff?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a mission. Maybe they're just uncomfortable with the issue. Remember, they did that, Life of Julia cartoon where it showed this single mom and her daughter in government had all these services, making the point that, gee, it'd be great if she was in a two-parent, family. That would be much better. And if the president is going to say that income inequality is the defining challenge of America, not the weak growth after the recovery, not the fact that we have 4 million fewer full-time jobs than we did 5 years ago. If he's going to make that statement, it would be fantastic if there was some evidence that, it is the defining challenge for the U.S. economy, and that evidence just isn't there.
Yeah, that's a problem. See, Mark, look, one thing, I don't favor Obama's policies in the main. That's no secret. But I will say this. He's a darn good family man from everything I've seen in 5 years. He's a good father, right? He stays with those kids. He stays with his wife. He does a lot of really good things. He should talk like that. He should be a role model, like Bill Cosby tried to be a role model, like Juan Williams tries to be a role model in his book. I don't understand why the president can't argue that two-parent family, not single mothers and so forth, as the solution to upward social mobility and other problems.
A two-parent family is a great thing. We've had family breakup issues, though, since at least the 1960s, if not earlier. The issue is income inequality because it's the worst now than it's been since the 1920s. There are 72 nations with more equality than the United States. We are ranked up there with Ghana and Turkmenistan. Those are our company for income inequality. Canada's doing better, Europe's doing better, Australia, New Zealand, they're all doing better. And the reason they're doing better and will do better economically, let me be clear, there's a moral issue. Pope Francis talks about that very clearly. I don't want to throw away half of America. But there's also an economic issue because the reason why corporations are hoarding cash is because there's not enough people to buy their products. And when the middle-class people aren't making any money, when they're losing money, while the top 1% owns 33% of the nation's wealth and gets all of the extra income, they don't have enough money to spend on products.
All right, Jimmy, go ahead.
When you actually look at the relationship between income inequality and economic growth, or income inequality and income mobility, it's just not there. I can make a stronger argument that income inequality is better for growth than it would be the other way around. It's just not there. But no, it's a very politically convenient issue for the president to use. The statistics are much stronger that family breakdown, not income inequality, limits income mobility. I would like to see more income mobility. So would a lot of people on the left. But you know what? Income inequality is not the problem.
I mean,
income inequality.
You can hang on. Look. Taxing rich people or whatever you're going to do, punishing success, that's not the problem. It's the successful who make the investments for the rest of us. I mean, this is, to me, a political and economic non-starter. Again, I want to go back to the moral case. I want to go back to the family case, because I think Jimmy P. is right, Mark. There's a lot of evidence, from Charles Murray all the way down to many academic guys. You can almost predict social and economic mobility by taking a look at the kid's family. And if it's a two-parent family, there is correlation. And if it's a one-parent family, you can predict that it's going to go bad. Mark, this is such an important issue. It goes to the heart of America because it goes to the heart of the family, which is the heart of America.
Larry, poverty causes family breakup. There's correlation there because when people are poor, they can't afford to keep their families together. They can't afford to pay the rent. They get evicted. Why is that? They get homeless.
No, why is that? Tell me why that is. I don't understand that. Why is that?
Because if you're homeless, homeless, it's very hard to keep a family together. If your kid can't get a decent education because they can't get a student loan because they can't go to college, here's the problem. The American dream is dying. And the reason the American dream is dying...
Are the Google billionaires causing those economic problems? Or is it forces like technology and globalization, which liberals don't like to talk about because they want to talk about Bush tax cuts and unions?
The Walton family doesn't have to work a day in their life. They're worth $100 billion, 3 of them, and they and their kids and their great-great-great-great-great-grandkids never have to work a day.
So what's the tax rate that's going to fix the problem? But a person working 3 jobs, working in poverty,
they may have a daughter that might have the cure for cancer. But if she can't get food to eat, if she can't get to go to school...
What is the tax rate that's going to solve that problem? Is it 50%? Is it 60%? What is the magic high marginal tax rate?
How about making Mitt Romney pay the same percentage of taxes as middle-class people?
Actually,
he pays 10%. Middle-class people pay 30%.
Actually, if you look at it,
how much money is that going to raise for you to redistribute?
Yeah, I mean, this is
the rich don't pay their taxes. Corporations don't pay their taxes. If they did, we'd have income inequality.
I think, Mark, this may be a politically convenient argument for
it's
your
not
party,
about politics, not for me.
I don't think this is going to wash. I don't think that's what America knows or wants. And look, Jimmy P, I just go to you. I don't think a problem of homelessness. Now there could be isolated problems, and I'm the kind of guy that gives him $5 on the street when I see him. My heart goes out. But I still believe you can predict an awful lot by looking at the structure of the family. You can predict what the kids are going to do and not do, whether they're going to have discipline, whether they're going to have responsibility. Is there a father role model? As a friend of mine has said and written, you know, do they know how to wear a tie and show up on time for a job interview? It's that kind of stuff that we think is corny. I think it's absolutely essential. You've written about it. We can't solve it tonight. Right. I appreciate it. Jim Pethokoukis and Mark Levine.
Happy
folks,
New Year.
I'm going to give Jimmy a plug. Go to Jim's website for AI, and you'll see the work he's done recently on this whole issue of income inequality. Now, 2014 just hours away, and that means we're getting closer to the midterm elections. Question, will the Republicans take the Senate, or will the Democrats turn around the Obamacare disaster? So with our 2014 predictions, we welcome back Mark Levine doing double duty tonight, and joining us, radio host Mike Slater. Mike, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you because this should be a great Republican year. They should win, I don't know, 6, 8, 10 seats and take the Senate easily. But let me just ask you, is the GOP prepared for, let's say, fixed websites for Obamacare, which may happen as the year goes on? The economy looks like it's doing a little better. Housing prices, you saw today's numbers, are rising. And, of course, the stock market is soaring. I mean, what if all that good stuff comes out of it? What should the GOP do?
Well, I got to I don't see that scenario being the case. I don't believe that there will be that big of a change with any of the seats, whether the House or the Senate. I still think we have this problem in America where everyone hates Congress, but everyone loves their congressman. So if that's the case for everyone, then nothing changes in the end. So I don't think there will be a change. We say on our show all the time, we have a outsourcing problem in America. We outsource way too much responsibility to D.C. We outsource our education of our kids, our retirement, our health care. And right now we're responding too much personal responsibility. So unless there's a societal revolution in America, we're not going to see a political revolution. And I don't think we're quite there yet. I don't see any Senate or major House changes happening in 2014.
Well, Mark, the Obama team may want to offshore this whole Obamacare deal. I mean, people don't like central planning. They don't want more big government entitlements, that liberal dream that seems to be crumbling before our eyes. How are the D's going to get out from under this fix?
Well, all they have to do is show the people that are signing up, the people that call into my radio show. This guy in Kentucky who picks tobacco and makes minimum wage, 48 years old. He had a health care problem. He went homeless. But now, for the first time in his life, he can get health care. This was a red state. This is a solid Republican who switched to a Democrat because he recognized that all those lies about Obamacare weren't true. And now, for the first time in his life, he can afford health care. I got to say, Happy New Year to Mike. We agree. I don't think the Senate will change hands, and I don't think the House will change hands, and I think there'll be more for gridlock for another 2 years.
Yes, there's a difference between health insurance, which is what this gentleman can finally get, and health care. Last time I was talking to Larry, it was after it found out that 70% of doctors in California are not seeing Obamacare patients. So that person you're talking about is going to have a rude awakening in 2014 when there are no doctors willing to see him.
Mike, the person I'm talking about could not get health care before. You got to understand that there were tens of millions of people in America that suffer because they just could not get health care.
Why didn't he go on Medicaid? Why didn't he go on Medicaid?
Because he can't get on Medicaid, Larry. You know that. Medicaid only applies to children and to pregnant women. Men can't get on Medicaid, except they can now under the Affordable Care Act if the governors allow it. The governor of Kentucky allows it. In Virginia, my home state, poor people just have to suffer. They can't get health care. But the governor's changing. We have a Democrat who's going to allow Virginians to get health care.
We'll see. I don't know. I think the low end actually benefits from this, and I think the high end might benefit from this, but they don't need it. I think it's the middle class that's going to be really pissed off with the higher minimums and the higher deductibles. And
I think you'll find most Americans do better.
I think middle class is going to really be angry. Mike Slater, does the Republican Party have a growth message, as in a rising tide lifts all boats, as in let's bring in Latinos, let's bring in young people, let's bring in women? Does the GOP, can they reach out? Can they change their stripes?
We actually have a New Year's resolution on our show, and that is to get out of the echo chamber that is talk radio. And some other forums as well, and talk to more people than we're reaching right now.
I gotta jump.
And yes, we need to do that.
You're
exactly right. It's the only way.
All right, Mark Levine, Mike Slater, you're both great. That's it for tonight's show. Thanks for watching.